So I recently spent 2 weeks in Belgium riding 4 different bikes on the same cobblestone stretches used in the Tour of Flanders. Now the most impressive of these bikes by far was Trek's new Domane SLR. Now the new Domane handles like a normal endurance road bike when you're riding on normal roads, but when you take it into the rough stuff, it's got new IsoSpeed front and rear that noticeably takes the hard edges off the bumps. Now on any bike, aside from your tires, most of the comfort you feel is coming from a seat post flex, as the frames don't move much at all. The old Domane had what Trek calls the IsoSpeed decoupler, which is a pivot at the top tube seat stay junction that basically turns the whole seat tube into a flexing seat post. There are 2 new things with the new Domane SLR. There's adjustable IsoSpeed decoupler in the rear, and now there's front IsoSpeed decoupler in the head tube. Now up front, there are bolts on the sides of the head tube that let the whole steer flex fore and aft, but prevents it from moving sideways. So the head tube is laterally as stiff as a normal bike. When you're climbing or sprinting, cornering, feels nice and stiff. You wouldn't know there's anything different. But as soon as you get into some choppy stuff, the edges dissipate slightly. Now, you still feel bumps coming up. There's no 2 ways about it. It's not a big downhill suspension fork, but it is noticeably softer. Now, the complaint on the original Domane was that it felt a little imbalanced. That the rear was nice and soft, but the front was harsh. So you'd hit something up front, it would feel like you wanted to hit it with the rear. This new bike is much closer to being balanced. Now the test bike I rode had Trek's new Bontrager IsoCore bar, which is a carbon bar with rubber impregnated in it. On top of that, Trek put a couple little gel pads on the handlebar underneath the handlebar tape, certainly sweetening the deal. Even with all that, it didn't feel mushy at all, just takes the edges off. Now the second big change for the new Domane SLR is the adjustable rear. Now how this works is you loosen a bolt that doubles as the lower water bottle cage bolt, and then you can adjust a slider up and down the seat tube. The difference is noticeable. It's not tremendous. It's not like jumping on a full suspension mountain bike, but it's noticeable going from the top setting to the lower setting. The new Domane comes in 2 different geometries, the Endurance Geo and then what Trek calls the Pro Endurance Geo, which is what Fabian Cancellara and the Trek factory team run. Now I normally run about 10 centimeters of drop from the saddle to handlebar, and on the Pro Endurance setup there's still about 3 centimeters of spacers underneath, so you can get a very aggressive position with the Pro Endurance geometry. Now for me, being a fairly traditional roadie that likes to ride on pavement and on dirt roads, I think Trek has absolutely nailed it with the new Domane SLR. I can get my road race position on a bike that also takes big fat tires. Usually it's one or the other. Now the IsoSpeed decoupler isn't magic, and it isn't a gimmick either. It just simply allows carbon to do what it does best, which is flex in some directions and not in others. We have a disc version on the way for tests, and you can look for a full review soon on BikeRadar.com.